Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Thanks for coming over. So I'm Coach Landree, and today we're going to be doing what I like to call Vanity Muscle Day, right? Okay. Beach time is coming up. We're going to be sitting 6 feet apart, and we want to look jacked while we're doing it outside, right? So, what I've got for you today, I've got part 1, our warm-up. We've got 30 seconds worth of jumping jacks. I know some of you reported some of your neighbors being kind of weird about the jumping, but if your neighbor has a problem with you jumping for 90 seconds, I think there's a larger issue at hand. 20 reverse lunges, so that's 10 per leg. 5 inchworms into push-ups. If you've taken one of my classes, you know that I love an inchworm into a push-up. And 10 sit-ups. Part 2, we've got our butt circuit, baby. We've got frog pumps for 30 to 60 seconds or 12 to 20 reps. Our butt circuit can be done entirely body weight, which is super fun. So I'll go into discussing these time recommendations a little bit more and how fatigue plays into it. We've got a front foot elevated curtsy lunge, which sounds very fancy, and it is, in case you ever meet the queen. Then we've got hip abductions for 20. Next we have a bicep superset. We've got parallel pause hammer curls for 10 to 12 reps. And we've got time under tension bicep curls with a 4-second eccentric or a 4-second lowering of the weight. And that one we can do with odd objects, which is awesome. Next, for our tour of vanity muscles, we've got the butt, we've got the biceps. We've hit the delts a lot this week. We're doing a side plank for the obliques, baby, and for stability. For 3 times 15 to 30 seconds per side. Okay, that's some great strength work. Next, part 3 is jog. My prescription is for however long it brings you joy, and then you can be done. That's great. If that's 5 minutes, that's beautiful. If that's 30 minutes, that's beautiful. Get some vitamin D. It helps your immune system. Here's a lovely note from my partner reminding me to don't take my inhaler, essentially, because I didn't the other day and it didn't go well for me. And then part 4, we've got some stretches to open up your hips and stretch out those glutes. We've got a cross shin or a double pigeon. Double pigeon is a little bit more advanced. And we've got dragon pose. All right, let's get started. Join me in the living room, won't you? So for our warm-up, we have 3 rounds, 30 seconds jumping jacks, 20 total reverse lunges, 10 per leg, 5 inchworms into push-ups, and 10 sit-ups. So for jumping jacks, right, pretty straightforward, but anything, I'm just trying to get your blood moving and get your body, warmed up a bit, right? So for reverse lunges, you're just gonna send one of your legs down and back. Whoop. I like to lightly tap the floor when I do it, just so I get good depth. Inchworm into push-up. Remember that this is a warm-up, it's not your workout, so choose a push-up variation that's easy for you. Thank you. Okay, last but not least, sit-ups. I'm going to show you the typical version that we usually do with an ab mat with our legs butterfly open. Hi! And those are your warm-up moves. Let's start with frog pumps. I got a little frog in my throat when I started. Anyways, so this is kind of a funny looking movement, but it's really good for your glutes. It's a really good way to activate your glutes, say before a squat or deadlift session. It's a really good way to finish up and burn out your glutes after a squat or deadlift session. It's also just a really good way to get a good glute pump. So you're going to put the soles of your feet together. You're going to lie down on the ground. and you're going to bridge up, contract your glutes up. It looks like this. Now, you can do that completely body weight, or you can add a weight to your hips to add a little bit more resistance. And I know that I had recommendations of like 30 to 60 seconds or 12 to 20 reps, and this is why. When we are in this kind of position, right, where we're home with limited equipment, sometimes you might have a weight that's not going to give you the appropriate challenge that you need. And so you need to adjust accordingly. And the nice thing is with like a broader time prescription, like 30 to 60 seconds, right, I can find when I'm reaching muscle fatigue, which is really important. That's what we're looking for here, is reaching muscle fatigue. The same with the rep scheme. 12 reps might be super easy, but 20 might be that perfect challenge depending on the weight that you have. Next, we're gonna do curtsy lunges. Front foot elevated curtsy lunges. In case you ever made the queen. Second time recording this, made that joke the first time. So here you go. You're gonna find a hardcover book. You're gonna put your working leg on said book. And you're essentially going to perform a curtsy and squeeze back up with your glute. If you want to add weight to that, you can hold a dumbbell in a goblet position. Really taking advantage of that deficit that the book makes and really squeezing your glute and pushing through your whole foot. Last but not least, some beautiful body weight, jazzercise hip abductions. So, I love these, and you're gonna feel that burn, baby. It's gonna feel so good. All you're gonna do is you're gonna lay on your side. You're gonna use one leg for stability, and this working leg is gonna raise up and down. The important thing to note is that my toe is pointing forward or down. It's never pointing up. When my toe points up, I'm asking my hips to do the work for me as opposed to ye old butt. And that's your butt circuit. Okay, so actually I'm gonna start with my hands free. We're gonna start with a parallel pause hammer curl just because those obstruct my hands. So oftentimes when we do a bicep curl, we think about a supinated grip or my palms facing this way. But for a hammer curl, it's gonna be like you're holding a hammer. It's just gonna hit that bicep in a different position. So for a parallel pause hammer curl, come all the way up, pause it parallel, come down. From the side. Okay. You can also do that with a water jug. Nice. Last but not least, straight up bicep curls with some TUT, baby. Time under tension. So we're going to do a regular bicep curl with a 4-second eccentric. Okay, that's biceps. And now, like the beautiful mermaids we are, let's do some side planks and sculpt those obliques. So, you're gonna come down into position. Your forearm is gonna be down on the ground. You can also do it with a straight arm. I like it on my forearm. Your feet can be stacked like this, or one foot can be in front of the other for a little bit more stability. Then you just squeeze up. Coach Landree here, back after a beautiful run. My glutes are nice and toasty. My biceps are popping. My obliques are nice and sleek and stabilizing. And let's finish up with some stretches. So I know we've been sitting a lot, so it's important to give love to our hips, and also give some love to our glutes that we just burned out. So you have an option for your first stretch of a cross shin or a double pigeon. The double pigeon is a little bit more advanced. The cross shin, what you're going to do is you're going to take one shin and you're going to cross it in front of the other, and then you're just going to fold your body down, holding it for about 1 minute, and it looks like this. Oh, it feels so good. You'll also get a nice stretch in your lower back as well. Double pigeon is a very similar movement, except my shins are stacked on top of one another. Okay? Last but not least, dragon. Giving our hips some love. And if you have any more questions about how to stretch out your hips, because you are sitting a lot and it can be tough on your back, just reach out to me. Coach Adrian, Coach George, Coach Darcy, they all have my email, so if you don't. So essentially, you're going to put 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, stretch it back. You're just going to prop yourself. You can let this knee fall to the side a little bit and just relax into the stretch. All of these stretches should feel passive. I want you to spend a minute at least in each stretch, really letting the muscle release and relaxing into that position.